What's up? I'm Alex. Today I'm talking to you about making your life simple with data structures. And this comes from a real example, something that happened just a few minutes ago with a student. They had a very complex data structure that actually could be simplified. And so I showed them how to make it simple on themselves, and I want to share the lessons we learned. So if you look at up here, from line 3 to 6, we have three separate arrays. They actually have the same length. They have, each of them has 7 elements, and they are meant to basically contain the items for the same country. So the first item is US, uppercase US, then you have the US flag, and then you have the dollar, then you have UK, the UK flag, and the pound, etc., etc. So they're meant to be aligned. So the simplest way to make your life easy will be to turn those three arrays into one array that contains objects that have the same key, such as symbol, emoji, and currency. So the second one will be symbol set to UK. Then the second variable would be emoji set to the UK emoji, and the currency set to the pound sign. Okay, so this will be the simplest way to make your life easy. And the way you will interact with this data will be, I'm using hooks, but you can literally change this to not use hooks, but you would have a counter, and then you would set the counter to 0. Okay, and then what I did, since we want to store the currently selected country in our storage, I have a use effect called, and it's only called once because we specify no dependency, which means that by specifying the dependencies, but specifying that there's no dependency, it means that it's going to be run only on the first render. So on the first render, we're going to parse int the local storage, get item counter, and if that's if it's not not a number, so if it doesn't basically throw, then we're going to use it. Otherwise, we're going to set it to 0. Okay? And what we do here is when you press the button, we set counter to the new variable, which is going to be equal to counter plus 1 modulo the length of the countries, so the maximum number. And then we also save it locally. So what happens, as you can see here, is that we have 0 here, then we change, we go to true, and then if I refresh, it's still at true. And instead of storing AU and then the Australian flag and the dollar sign, I'm only storing one of them. I'm only actually storing the counter. I don't even store any of these, I just store the counter. Okay? We could even refactor this to store one of these variables. However, my advice would be to use country data instead of doing any of that. You would just use country data. You would do country data square bracket counter, right? Square bracket counter dot country, square bracket counter dot emoji, square bracket counter dot currency, and then you would use just country data for the country data length, which actually crashed because we set this to a number above 1. But if we go back to 0, which one? Found the object in line 43. Yeah, this is not there, so we're just gonna do counter here. And as you can see, we get this back basically. And instead of country, this is called symbol. So this will be the proper way to set this up. And I would advise with doing it this way. However, if you want to make your life harder and you want to just store this variable right here, then we can literally change that to we will basically use the counter variable to get the current countries here. So we would use counter countries square bracket counter, and this will be emojis, and this will be currencies, currency sign, and that's going to be country emoji, and this is going to be back to countries. So what you can do if you're going to use let me see what's going on here. country emoji. So as you can see, this is going to be countries.length. That's why it's breaking. Okay, and now it goes back to working. However, at this time we're still using a counter. What if you wanted to store this in your local storage instead? What we will do will be set item counter. Instead of counter, we will save countries square bracket counter, or temp counter, I guess. And then we will be able to save that on the local storage. We're basically making our life more complicated for no reason. That's basically what we're doing. As you can see, it works, and then if you reload, it's going to break. But it doesn't break because it goes back to 0 because I defaulted it. However, what we will have to do now will be from storage to counter. So basically int count is going to be equal to countries.find, or rather index of open parentheses country with this triple equals to count, where count is no longer, this is gonna, instead of count, I'm gonna call this, I guess, symbol, because that's what it is. Country triple equal to that, and then int count will actually be correct. So let's see. It's saying -1 because it's not being found yet. As you can see, our country is ITL for some reason. So technically we would want this to be number 4. Let's say we go back to US just to be keep it easy. We're supposed to get back 0, but for some reason we're getting nothing. Most likely is because we're just supposed to do this. No? So let's see index of. Array.indexOf returns the first index at which given element can be found. Array.indexOf symbol. We're still parsing int, that's why it's not working. So let's remove the parse int. And let's remove this parenthesis. And now, as you can see, we got India, so we're still working because we got the counter back, right? So we're getting the counter back after saving that variable. We're basically making our life more hard, but as you see, we always go back to that counter because, again, we realize that all of these work that way. I guess another way to make it even more complicated, which, again, I wouldn't advise at all. I would advise we staying with this one, but you may recognize this is const messed up country data is going to be equal to having, for example, now let's do messed up emoji, country emoji. You may have something like an array with a country, US, and then a emoji of the actual emoji, right? And then you may have the same thing for messed up currency, country, currency, because the problem with this thing is, as you can see, it's very redundant. I guess, what's it called? Sign. So I wouldn't recommend this at all, but it may happen. And if it does happen, then you may elect to have functions that retrieve your data, and given your counter or given your country, right? We can do it given your country. So let's say country, just here, just to make it simple, we're going to define the const country is equal to US. Then we're going to have a function from counter to emoji and from counter to country, which I'm going to just cut out and put them below. And basically we're going to return messed up country currency and messed up country emoji. Not like that, but it's going to be dot find, and dot find will receive a parameter of country, the current country, and it's going to ask if country dot symbol, no, country dot country triple equals to country, which is annoying, and then we're gonna basically return the whole object, I guess, and then you're gonna by finding that, then you're gonna return the dot emoji of it. So this is what you're gonna do, and as you can see, it's fairly atrocious to look at. I'm just showing you how things can go wrong if you set up your data improperly. I'm just trying to find a way for you to basically be helped. If you're in a similar situation, you definitely want to avoid this at all costs. Yeah, so this is going to be just an array instead of having any form of curly braces. And again, this is not how you're meant to do it. This is how you may structure your code in that way to the point where it's so hard to even work with it. Country.country triple equals to country. This is I guess we're gonna call it counter because it simplifies our lives. As you can see, it actually works. I mean, to be fair, we're not using the emoji here, so let's change it to emoji and let's see if it actually works. So as you can see, we always get that one back because we set this to US, and so we're expecting to get that back. If I were to also create this one and change this to country, then if I save now, you still see the American one, and if I change this to UK, you actually get the UK one. I would expect you do. All right. So as you can see, this is how to make your life more complicated. My advice is always go back to a simple object with all the keys. If you're gonna have more than one object, just key by. I may be building a fully fledged tutorial in how to build a completely reusable data agnostic table that I will be pushing on Udemy, built with hooks and stuff, so that you're basically able to build data visualization dashboard in a very simple way. So if you're interested in that, leave a comment. I'm gonna give a huge discount to you. Additionally, if you wanna work with me, the fastest way for you to learn, what I've noticed, honestly, is just get a session with me. In a couple of hours, I can find everything that is wrong with the way you've been working. I can fix years of bad habits in just 2 hours most of the time, and if I can't, I'll just refund you because I only work with people that are happy to work with me. So feel free to reach out privately for a private session, or if you're interested in a data visualization lesson with React and hooks in building a completely reusable table, let me know. As I showed you, there are many ways to mess it up and the simple way to make it right. And when you get it right, you can build high-level code that does incredible things extremely simply, and it's just a matter of setting yourself for success. So that's that. I wish you to set yourself up for success. If you want to work with me, you can reach me at the link in the description. Thank you so much for watching. Have an awesome day.